Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another FPL deadline stream here on the FPL Expectations YouTube channel. My name is Nick. It's a bit of a weird deadline this week because of the quick turnaround. So I think it's on a Friday deadline. So in the UK, in Australia, it's like 1:30 in the morning. That's okay. We're here talking about FPL. It's not. I'm never alone, of course. This time I'm here with FBL Zoe, who's back once again. Zoe, welcome back. It's good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, good to be back. Just glad that the week is over and we get to. I mean, it, it's a pretty hectic few game weeks with all the doubles going around, and we just completed game week 29, and now we need to figure out what to do for game week 30, and we only have about like what 4 hours.
Couple of hours, yeah.
Yeah, about 4 hours in terms of deadline. So, yep, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and we're glad to have you back once again. I'm sure the comments are glad to see what you have to say about blank game week 30. I know there's a few things floating around in the air that we're going to get into, but first, let's have a look at your team. I think we're going to have a look at how you did last game week with double game week 29. There's a very, very healthy looking score there. Feel free to walk us through how you did.
So, I actually played my bench boost. Um, it was pretty underwhelming. If you look at the bottom, this is my bench. Dubravka 4 points. Broya only one miserable point. Rafinha got lucky at the end. He provided that assist, and then after that, Rudiger he got a clean sheet, but I got a yellow card in the end. Why would I say it's underwhelming for me? Because I actually took hits to feel this team of 11 double gimmick players. I actually
Mm-hmm.
sold Kilman, and I sold Ramsey. So it's pretty pretty meh. Like I sold Ramsey for Gordon, and Gordon only got 4 points, and Ramsey scored, and he got 10 points.
Yeah.
Sold Kilman for Doherty. Doherty got 7 points. I think Kilman got 8 points. I got Doherty in for a hit, so technically, I got Gordon in for a hit as well. So if I did not do anything, I would have gotten much more. But still, very good game week score. 129 minus 8, 121. Got myself up to a overall rank of 9K. Within top 10,000. And two triple digits in a row. So I would say the wild card I play on game week 28 so far is paying off. But if you look at my team, it doesn't really look that good for game week 30, which we will talk about after this.
Yeah, I mean, some of the highlights we can see from there. I mean, we got Ramsdale. I think Robertson's a very good highlight. I mean, for
Yep.
me, I didn't own Robertson, so he was a big rank killer.
I
But
mean,
two clean sheets and an assist
yeah,
somewhere
an
there, right?
assist. So Robertson was, my planned transfer for game week 29 because James was injured, and
Mm-hmm.
seems pretty straightforward to move James out. Even if James is not injured, he only has one fixture on game week 29, and Robertson has
Yeah.
two fixtures, so it just makes sense. That was my planned transfer, and then after that, my initial planned transfer of James to Robertson and Kilman, because I didn't know, I wasn't sure whether he's going to start or not, because he was
Mm-hmm.
dropped or benched on game week 28. So my two transfers plan was James to Robertson, Kilman to Doherty, and last minute, I just did Ramsey to Gordon, figure out, Gordon could be a good punt, considering Everton, they are most likely, they are having a double in game week 31 as well, and
Right.
probably another 2 double game weeks, I think, because they have quite a number of fixtures in the bank as well for them. So I figure out, maybe Ramsey to Gordon could be a long-term move. And I was hoping it would pay off on game week 29 itself, but it's a shame it didn't work out. But yeah, Robertson, really happy. He got those points, and really happy that I own him. So yeah.
Yeah, I think especially when you play a chip price, especially like the bench boost, I think there's always a very, very high expectation. But
Yep.
you could still register a few returns, the Rudiger clean sheet, the Rafinha assist. I know the Rafinha could have been a bigger haul because
Yeah.
he could have definitely registered a few more, but I mean, we'll take a few returns, especially given his recent run. So overall, 129, is that correct? Overall points with a 12. I mean, how many hits?
129 -8, so I think I end up on 121.
That's still good. That's still very good. And I can see kind of a glimpse of green arrows bottom right. Tell us where are you at right now?
Currently, I'm on rank 9,047.
Wow, that's good. Still in there. Top 10K, still hanging in there.
Yeah, just made it back, but game week 30, expecting a car crash.
Yeah, well, speaking of game week 30, I think we kind of talked about it before going live, and know that you haven't made your moves, is that correct? But are you even making any moves? That's the kicker. We're gonna move on to that right now. Blank game week 30. That's what everyone's thinking of right now. We're a few hours out. Tell us your thoughts right now, and tell us what the team looks like, and tell us, if there's anything, if any, you're planning to do.
So, I currently have 7 players featuring that has a fixture in game week 30. Triple Arsenal, triple Spurs, and Rafinha. So, initially I was just because like game week 31 we have Everton, who's going to double. We also have Burnley, who's going to double. So 2 teams are going to double already, and it's after the international break. So my initial thoughts were, just to roll that free transfer and just go with 7 players. I think I've never done that before, as far as I can remember in my history of playing FPL. Playing with 7 players only in a game week. But looking at the available fixtures, there isn't really much option. I mean, there isn't really many options. Many long-term options, I would say. Yes, sure, there are like a single game week punt players, but there isn't really a longer term option that also covers the doubles. So none. I mean, so far at least, none of the options really stand out to me. So my current state or my current plan is just to I rather get I rather get extra free transfer over the international break, because we know international breaks. We will definitely start seeing many flagged players. We already have one in Trent Alexander-Arnold, which suddenly mysteriously declared injured with a hamstring injury. So it's definitely going to miss the FA Cup and pull out from the England squad conveniently. So we are still not entirely sure whether it's that international break injury, or a genuine injury. But yeah, I mean, like looking at the lack of options available, and also the double game week teams on game week 31, and also the international break. I think having the extra free transfer is probably more valuable in a sense. So that's where I'm at the moment. I've seen on the comments people talking about Rafinha. That's another big rumor flying around on Twitter. I think it stems from the fact that he wasn't he wasn't, I think he wasn't seen at the training videos. So there were rumors that rumors start coming out from the fans forums, from Twitter, saying that he might be down with COVID, but up until now it's still just a rumor. Nobody can be sure. And we still have less than 4 hours to go. So I guess we are all waiting for that, news about Rafinha. Because if Rafinha is out, then I will only be left with 6 players, and that I might be forced to make a move then. So up until then, and until everything is clear, I'm still holding on to that free transfer.
If Rafinha was declared unfit, like it was 100%, he's not playing, how would your moves change from there?
I mean, firstly, I think if Rafinha is out with COVID, he's probably the one to go for me. So, looking at my team, I mean, if you're looking at about, that price point, I think let's look at Rafinha. Rafinha is 6.5. So if you look at that price point at 6.5 million, if you don't have Kulusevski, that's probably a no-brainer to go for him at that price point. Another one, that has been flying around on Twitter and sort of a little bit on form is probably Harvey Barnes.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I've been stung before by Harvey Barnes. Probably, I brought him in on gaming 1, and I stuck with him, and he didn't return at all. He blank. Basically, he didn't really live up to his hype, or he didn't really reproduce that form that he had, especially towards the end of last season. But it's already game week 30. If he needs to come back to form, I think it's now, especially since Leicester is not in a good position right now. So he has to step up, So if you're looking at that price point, I would probably say Harvey Barnes is one of them, considering they are facing a Brentford side that if it's not for David Raya, I think they could have lost a lot more. So yeah, so let's look at Barnes. Barnes is also 6.5 million at the moment. But one thing to note about Barnes is, if I'm not mistaken, he played 100 minutes yesterday. So
really?
Yeah, so that is something to look out for. But that could be also said that that could also point that he's nailed in a sense.
True.
Whereas I think Maddison didn't start the Europa Conference League game, whereas Barnes played the whole match, I think. So 6.5 million. If you look at Barnes fixtures, they are not too bad. They face Brentford on game week 30, Man United away, and then after that, their fixtures are pretty decent after that. And on top of that, they have 2 games in hand, the Norwich game and the Chelsea game. So the Norwich game is probably, if let's say game week 33 they face Newcastle and they double with Norwich, that could be a good and tasty fixture. So Leicester assets. I mean, yes, the form is not there, but at least the fixtures are there. So some might argue fixtures breeds form, and especially they have double game weeks coming up as well. So I would say if Rafinha is out, do consider one of the Leicester midfielders. Another Leicester midfield that some might want to consider is let's see, Madison. Madison is a 6.7 million, but his minutes is a little bit erratic recently, and but I do think he should start, and he's also a good option at 6.7. But
Would
Barnes,
you say Barnes is more nailed, or is it hard to say?
I would say. I mean, I've seen on Twitter, if you follow Samuel Martin, I think he's probably the resident Leicester account to
Mm-hmm.
follow. So to him, he between Barnes and Madison, I think what he was saying in his latest Leicester thread is that there are more players competing against Madison, in that midfield slot, whereas Barnes is more nailed in terms of his position. And
Yeah.
if you look at the games, usually Barnes is more threatening in terms of goal threat compared to Madison. Madison is more like the creative player, but it's really hard to predict Rodgers recently, or most of the time. He can make very questionable decisions and lineups, but Barnes seems to be the one more nailed, I would say, recently at least. So and he's one thing is he's only 5.7% owned at the moment, and he's cheaper. So I personally I would probably bite my tongue and I would go for Barnes again if Rafinha is confirmed out.
Yeah, I think I would agree too. I think in my case, right, I also have
Yep.
Rafinha. I think
Mm-hmm.
in terms of value, I would go for Barnes as well. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like before today, if you asked me, I would have probably said Madison. I would feel is more nailed, but given the recent streak of games, seems like Barnes is making more of an appearance. So I would have to agree as well that yeah, I think if you had to pick a Leicester attacker, it would probably be Barnes to target. Okay, so looking at Barnes, looking at Madison, these Leicester midfielders for potential Rafinha replacement. Well, obviously not. I feel like with the way COVID news works nowadays, you normally don't hear about it confirmed until like after the game. So we might not even get news of a positive test. We just might end up seeing Rafinha not show up in the actual lineup. So we'll just have to see. That's probably going to be released closer to the deadline. If you really want as much news as possible, just wait until closer to the deadline and then make your moves then. But for now, as you can see, Zoe is currently trying to roll, but with given the possibility of Rafinha being out, he could be considering possible Rafinha long-term replacement. Um, Other than that, looks like a good team. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. I wildcarded in 20, I think 25 or 26 now. And I kind of wish I still had it because having a wild card in 31 would be very, very useful. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think we can agree about. I think we'll talk a little bit
I
about
I
ship strategy and players to target, if that's okay.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So talk us through like if you've got a wild card, if you don't have a wild card, and for the remainder of the season, because the season's about to end pretty quick. Like, what are some of the players we should be looking at if we're on a wild card or not on a wild card?
we know game week 33 will be a double game week for several teams, and game week 36 will be probably be the largest double game week of the whole season. So there are several strategies. It depends on what chips you have right now. So if you have a wild card and you have bench boost, so like play FPL managers would probably most definitely wildcard probably game week 35 and bench boost on 36. Basically you want to bring in as many double game week players as possible so that you can maximize the bench boost on 36. So that's probably one of the more popular strategies for those still having a wildcard and bench boost. Yes, if you have triple captain, you can definitely play your triple captain on game week 36, especially on Liverpool. I think Liverpool is going to double again, and they are probably one of the better candidates to wildcard. I mean to triple captain, and it also depends on the cup games. FA Cup games this coming weekend. So it like after this weekend we will definitely have more confirmed fixtures on game week 33, who's going to double, who's not going to double, who's going to blank. I think there is a team that's going to blank on game week 33 if I'm not mistaken. So if you can, I mean, if you can wildcard, I would say I would, I see some managers, plan to wildcard on game week 31, which is after the blank game week 30. That's a good strategy as well because on game week 30 you can probably punt on a specific team or on a player that has a good fixture on game week 30, and then you wildcard after the international break, which is a good strategy as well. You can activate your wildcard early. You can bring in players, bring in and out, depending on their status, depending on their prices, and also you can hop on and off on the different teams that are going to double on game week 31. I think there might be a team also going to double on game week 32, if not mistaken, and then after that maybe 34 as well. There's probably one team going to double. So we're definitely going to have those odd teams that are going to double all the way until game week 37. So one advantage of playing your wildcard in game week 31 is that you can, if you dare, you can punt Everton players, Burnley players, which have a double on game week 31. And Burnley is also having a decent fixture against Norwich on game week 32. So that's probably another angle you can look at on Burnley players. But if you do not have your wildcard, then your free transfer has suddenly become very, very valuable because you have only you have only 7 or 8 free transfers left for the whole season. So use them wisely. For me, I still have both of my free hit chips. So
you have 2 free hits?
Yeah, I still have my 2 free hits.
Wow. Wow.
So my strategy is game week 36, I'm definitely going to play one of my free hit then. Just going to full on 11 double game week players, based on their fixtures. But the other free hit I might play on game week 33 if I, it really depends on the FA Cup games this coming weekend. And once we know which teams are the ones having doubles, then I will probably decide whether I want to play my free hit chip on 33 or not. Because so far, if you look at game week 33, I think Spurs are having doubles. Arsenal are having doubles, but it's quite weird because it's not confirmed yet. To be honest, I'm not sure why official FPL has already put up those fixtures,
They've already
but it's
put
not
the
confirmed.
fixtures.
Yeah, it's actually not 100% confirmed yet. It depends on the FA Cup games and their results. So um,
I'm not sure if you can see that on the screen, but All About FPL has created a very, very nifty um, little outcome chart
yeah,
that if you haven't taken a look at, you definitely want to save. It's kind of small,
I
but as you can see,
I
the
think
green
you
fixtures, they're
I
all
think you can
confirmed.
you can zoom in. Yeah. So okay, so maybe I'll just read it out. Like
Is that okay?
confirm doubles on confirm doubles on Game Week 33 is Brighton, Man United, Burnley, Leicester, and Newcastle. Um, but you see, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Southampton, Liverpool, these are not confirmed yet. It really depends on the FA Cup games. So
Yeah.
which is weird. I think if not mistaken, official FPL has already stated that Arsenal is going to have a double game week on 33. So
Yeah, yeah.
which is not true. It's not confirmed yet. So it's something to look out for. But currently, if you look at my team, if let's say Chelsea and Arsenal and Liverpool already have their double, I mean they're having their double game weeks, then I mean, if Forest beat Liverpool, no. I mean, if you, let's look at let's look at what how they have the double game weeks. You see, let's look at Arsenal. If Man City beat Southampton, then Arsenal will have a double game week. I think this is pretty highly likely. Chelsea is going to win. I mean, sorry, City is going to win. Man City is going to win. So seems like it's highly likely that Arsenal is going to get a double game week. Chelsea will only have a double game week if Middlesbrough beat Chelsea in the FA Cup quarterfinals. Um, probably can't see that happening. So probably
I mean, we sure hope
might
not.
probably Chelsea might not have the double game week. Man City, they will have a double game week if they lose to Southampton in the FA Cup quarterfinals. So probably not going to happen. So Man City most probably might not get the double game week as well. Southampton is going to get a double game week if City beats them in the FA Cup quarterfinal. So this is pretty likely. So I would
Mhm.
say Arsenal and Southampton is going to get that double game week. Liverpool, they will get the double game week if Nottingham Forest beats them, which is highly unlikely. So I would say out of these 5 teams, probably Arsenal and Southampton is going to get that double game week on game week 33. So if it's indeed true, then I would probably have, let's see, one, two, Arsenal, Man City. I probably have quite a number of players having double game at game week 33. So I might not even need to play my free hit on 33. So it really depends on the confirmed fixtures, on during the FA Cup quarterfinals.
I think this is really big for a lot of managers as well because I feel like in this orange section, the uncertain fixtures, a lot of the template is kind of dependent on these fixtures. So Liverpool, a lot of us are triple Liverpool. Chelsea, a few of us have Chelsea defenders, and then of course Arsenal. I feel at this
Yeah,
point
triple
the top
Arsenal.
10K template. Yeah, yeah. Some Southampton as well. City. So yeah, these are pretty big teams. A lot of our assets, I think, come out of this bracket. So, yeah, this is important to know for those of you tuning in. Like, hold your horses just yet. I mean, if you have a wild card, it's just a big advantage. So, yeah, I think with in terms of chip strategy, like having the wild card is such a big privilege because not only can you kind of weave through how these fixtures play out, but also there's an international break. Anything can happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it now. I'm really starting to realize, oh man, this would be so nice.
So what chips do you have left?
I have the bench boost and my second free hit, so 2 chips left.
So
And so,
any
like you
plans?
said, like because I don't have a wild card, the free transfers are so valuable now.
Yep.
So I'm probably gonna roll. I have the privilege of having about 9 to 10 players playing in this playing game week, which I think is like unheard of. So I will probably be rolling and then having 2 free transfers for 31.
Like
But yeah,
what are your plans
this
with the bench boost?
it'll be definitely played in a double game week, maybe 33. Depending on how the fixtures play out, and then the last free hit will be played on another, maybe 36, probably, or
Hmm.
vice versa.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Sounds good.
that's what we're looking at right now. This thank you to All About FPL for this very good chart. We'll see how these end up playing out, but I think like Joe mentioned, there's only really 2 that's really gonna happen. Probably the Arsenal and Southampton double. The other 3, it's just gonna be really tough to see. I mean, anything can happen in FA Cup. You never know, but yeah, we'll have to see how they play out.
Hmm.
I'm gonna share the FPL fixture difficulty, and we'll have a chat about possibly some of the players we could target towards the end of the season. We'll have a look here at the fixture ticker. Obviously, game week 33, this is subject to change. It looks like a lot of cool doubles, but some of these are probably going to disappear after the FA Cup results. So, what do you think? What at first glance, a couple of doubles, especially those that are confirmed, like Leicester, that looks like a very good pairing of
Hmm.
doubles. So, like we kind of touched on, Madison, Barnes, these guys, right? Pretty good targets to look at. Southampton, not a bad, not a bad couple of fixtures as well, and overall their fixture run is pretty good as well. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard to say because some of these doubles are probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
Maybe in a week's a week's time. I would say Arsenal. I would back my Arsenal boys that they're pretty good assets to own until the rest of the season
Yeah,
because
I think Arsenal assets are are good in a sense they are doing pretty well. Um, they they are they are really good value, and
they have a lot to play for as well.
yeah, they have a lot to play for as well. I mean top four. That if they can get top four, it'd be amazing for them because considering how they started the season, and
Yeah. True.
and you can really see the team really starting to gel together really well. The team spirit is there. They enjoy playing with each other, and do it. And on their good day, they can take on any team. To be honest, so looking at
Yeah.
their fixtures at the end of the season and how much value they provide, um, it's I mean triple up. It's it's not a bad idea at all. Especially I think they also have a few upcoming double game weeks as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean Arsenal is a team which is good to own. And if you look at another one, I would say if you look at Chelsea fixtures are pretty really tasty as well.
Mhm.
And yes, they also have something to play for. Um, they, I mean, in especially for their defenders like Rudiger, like James. I think James should be back. I think he's back in training already, so he should be back on game week 31. Which is why one of the reasons why people hold on to their free transfers because if they hear of any confirmed news that James is back, he's playing Brentford. He's playing Brentford on game week 31. So you might want to. I mean, people will start to scramble to bring him back in. So, and another
Yeah.
one I would say, Leicester. I think you've touched that just now. So Leicester, I think it's not. It's because I think one of it is because of their fixtures, and another one is because of their multiple fixtures, additional fixtures not yet confirmed, because this you look right here, they don't have the Norwich and the Chelsea game being scheduled in there yet, so they might have like what triple game weeks, like maybe game week 33, and then they have one in 36, and then maybe they have one more in between. So the lesser players are going to have extra fixtures compared to other teams. Everton is also another team which have extra fixtures yet to be scheduled in, but their form is pretty appalling at the moment. So maybe I would say, if you're playing bench boost, maybe nail Everton players like Anthony Gordon, where you can always bench them, each and like every other week, and play a bench boost during the double game week, because it's only like 4.5 cheap asset to own, easy to bench, but nailed, and having decent goal threat as well, but with multiple upcoming fixtures. So Everton is also a team you can look at. I think
I'm not the biggest fan of Everton right now. I don't know. I feel like they've just kind of fallen off a cliff,
Yeah, I mean,
At least that's what I felt.
but who knows? I think maybe after the game they won against Newcastle, things might change. I don't know. Like
We'll have to
I
see.
said, like I said, fixtures breeds form. Form is not just something where turn out of nowhere. It has to depend on the situation and the environment that the team goes through before they can gain those confidence, and it manifests to what we so call as form. So things could change. Who knows? Man City is also another team that we'll probably be wanting to bring them back in, because they are at the final hurdle. They would want to push all the way, win all the games, especially those must-win games. If you look at the ticker, they have potentially they might have a double game week 33, but like I said, it's not confirmed yet. But after that, they have Watford, Leeds, and Newcastle, which are tasty fixtures for them. I think currently we are not really focusing on Man City because of their lack of fixtures for the past few game weeks. But I would think we might want to reconsider them very soon again. So I think this.
I agree as well. And I think if this fixture isn't played here, which is very likely, then it's very likely going to be played possibly 36, something like that. So that could be a very good fixture pairing for City assets as well. But yeah, I think these are some of the players, some of the teams that we can look at to target. Good points made overall. I think the blank game we only see like 4 fixtures. Is that correct? In the blank game week coming up, 30.
Yep, only 4 fixtures.
Only 4 fixtures. I'll be really honest. I felt like none of these out of the 4, none of these really like jump out at me.
Yeah,
I guess any team playing Leeds would be, a pretty good target. But I felt like Wolves, as long as they get a clean sheet, it's fine. The attacking threat isn't really there.
But
Arsenal,
you'd be surprised, you'd be surprised. I think Leicester, they are still a team to target in terms of their defense.
Right. They conceded a lot of shots, I think, in game
they
week.
Conceded a lot of shots. 29. They conceded a lot of shots in the box. If you look at the game, versus Arsenal, they conceded 21 shots. 21 shots against Arsenal. despite having
That is crazy.
a higher ball possession. Okay, and they conceded 16 out of those 21 shots. 16 shots are considered in the box. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
In one game alone.
Yes, in one game alone.
Wow.
And that's not that was just, I mean, that's just Arsenal, which they played like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if you look at the Leicester versus Leeds game, which they won, which Leicester won against Leeds, and this was Leicester at home. They conceded 19 shots against Leeds, and out of those 19 shots,
Wow.
16 shots are in the box. So
Really?
yeah,
That is crazy. I didn't know the stats for that one. Wow.
So they are still conceding. They are still conceding shots. They are still conceding XGs. And even like yesterday's game against in their Europa Conference League, they conceded 12 shots. Okay, and 10 shots are in the box. So, I mean, this, I don't know. It's what I'm not sure whether this stats tells much, but to be conceding inside the box that many times, I don't know. It shows that they don't have that much ball control, So, which is why some players, I mean, some FPL managers, if especially those who are going to wild card in Game Week 31, they might punt on Brentford. They might punt on Tony. Some even punt on Ericsson, which is not a bad shot at all. Yeah, I mean,
not a bad shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Eriksen, he does not turn to a bad player overnight. Just because of his scare during that match in for Denmark. I mean, he's slowly coming back to form. Class is permanent. He clocked in 90 minutes, match in, match out. So I think in terms of fitness, Eriksen is. I don't see any concern, and he's like what 5.5 million and only like 0. I don't know, like less than 1% owned. So
yeah.
So against a team that concedes many shots in the box, he's definitely one to look out for. So if you walk out on Game Week 31, or if you are playing a free hit on Game Week 30, Eriksen is not a bet.
There's a case for Brentford players to target the Leicester.
Yeah, there's definitely a case for Brentford to target Leicester players, especially after Leicester's yesterday's game, in the Conference League. So might I mean, in terms of rest, they might not have as much rest as Brentford, so that could be a game to target, especially for those on free hit or those on wildcard on Game Week 31. Because why would I say that? Is because I think Brentford's fixtures after Game Week 30 is not as decent, and they don't have. I don't think they have any. Yeah, they don't have any upcoming unscheduled games. So they play Chelsea on Game Week 31, and they play West Ham on Game Week 32. So, and they don't have any doubles at all. They don't have any unscheduled matches. So they, which is why
this would be the last main game week to target them.
I mean, this would be the good game week to punt on Brentford, if you ask me, for a single game week.
Right.
If you are targeting a single game week player.
Yeah, I fully agree. So I guess there is a case for Brentford players if you're looking to to take a punt. And like Joe said, if you're free hitting or if you are wildcarding in 31, definitely worth looking at them. There's only four fixtures, so feel like none of them are really stand out, but I guess there is definitely a case for Brentford versus Leicester. Well, that was good. Very fruitful discussion about chip strategy, overall players to target. We're reaching the final stretch of the season, so we're trying to hang on, trying to hang on to our ranks and all that. So definitely important to think about how we're gonna plan for the rest of the season. I think we have a couple minutes left. Let's jump into Q&A. So we have quite a few questions, and thank you for those who are still staying tuned. We do appreciate you guys hanging on, and we've quite a few things to go through. First up, Patrick Tan, thank you for coming on. Barnes or Madison, guys, tough call. It's a very tough call. We've kind of covered this. So I think we kind of sort of lean towards Barnes,
Yeah, sort of lean
despite
towards
how kind
Barnes.
of fluky both of them are in terms of minutes. But yeah, we went for Barnes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went for Barnes. Given the price as well, yeah, I think it's worth going for him if you are looking for that. So I hope that works for you, Patrick. Magic is glad to see you again, Zoe, and so are we. Very glad to see you again. Juan Zuhelmi, of course, a regular. Hello, it is good to be with you. Thank you for tuning in. Mohammed Hazik, hey, any news? Juan gonna start and Rafinha COVID. We kind of talked about Rafinha. That's definitely gonna come in terms of news that will come later, and of course, with how
Um,
COVID news work nowadays,
there,
they
there
normally
is some
don't.
news. There is some news, Nick.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. So currently, news coming out on Twitter saying Rafinha is absolutely fine and
Oh,
has not tested positive for COVID. I think I can share this screen. Let me just stop sharing this one, and I will share another screen. Okay. So can you see? Yep. So this is by Leeds Radar. I'm not sure how dependable is Leeds Radar. Let's see. Only 1,000 followers. Well, I think should be fine. It says here Rafinha is absolutely fine, has not tested positive for COVID, despite the circulation of baseless rumors suggesting that he had. He has travelled with the squad this afternoon and will be in the starting 11. So this is the latest news so far. But then again, we
good
still
to
have 3
hear.
hours to the deadline, so we'll just have to wait and see for more concrete news. But so far, Rafinha should be fine. In terms of Huang, I'm not really sure. I think I think if I'm not mistaken, I've seen Wolves posted about Huang. Let me just check Wolves. Whether there's a poster on. I'm not sure. I
What
don't
what what
think
was the like concern, Muhammad? Like, did you hear he was injured or just not
he
sure whether he
he
was?
he came out of the last match injured. He was subbed
Oh,
out really
okay.
early, so I don't know. Wolves put a poster on Huang Super Chan, so I'm not sure whether does that mean he's
Does that
fit.
allude that he's okay?
I don't know. So I mean, if I have Huang, I'll probably keep him. Because I don't think
Yeah.
there is other options we can go for at that price point, which also has a game this week. So it's a bit yeah. You see here, this is 20 hours ago. Wolves posted this. It's Wang Hee Chan. So whether is this the latest training? No idea, but they're hyping him up. So hopefully that means he's available. So
Yeah, I think I would if I had him, I would probably keep and hold as well.
yeah.
Rafinha, given what Zoe just brought up, I think is very, very positive news to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that should be okay, I think. Um, Edwin Thorman, good to have you back again. Guess it's going to be similar questions all over. Number one, Barnes versus Madison. I think we went for Barnes. Number two, Tony Trap. Thoughts on the Tony Trap?
Um, I mean, like I mentioned just now, if you're only looking, if you're on a free hit, you're looking for a team or players to punt. I probably, Brentford. Tony, he's not a bad shout. I think why people say he's a trap is because, um, yes, he did score plenty of goals. I think in the past few game weeks, but I think if I'm not mistaken, three of them is penalties. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and his stats, his open play stats. I mean, yes, he did score open play goals as well, but it's more of it's not as impressive as his FPL points. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I read on the Twitter that recently Brentford, in when Ericsson came into the picture, they sort of have like a slight change in formation and seems to benefit Tony as well. And now they have such a creative force in Ericsson, which you like especially the goal where he scored, I think last game week, where Ericsson just crossed with the left foot, and Tony just went for that header. That is the essence that was missing in Brentford previously prior to Ericsson. So Ericsson is a player where he can look for the strikers, whether is it through his set pieces or whether it's through his crosses, and previously Tony misses that. So
Yeah.
will that relationship or will that understanding grow over the next few game weeks? I mean, nobody knows, but it's looking pretty good. Which is why I say, if you want to punt for a striker this game week, yeah, I will go for Tony.
Yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to our point we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
After this game week, the fixtures for Brentford don't look very nice. So if you have a means of punting on them via free hit or wildcard in 31, then it's definitely worth maybe considering Tony for your forward option. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, Edwin also mentions Rafinha Maisajastra. I think he's referring to the COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, I think obviously that's up in the air, not entirely confirmed, but as Joe just mentioned, there's a good chance he might be fine. But let's all hope he's fine. Sideman Clips, good to see you. Would you sell Sar or Dine to a Leicester defender or roll or play eight? Sorry, roll and play eight. Um, I think I know your answer to this, but what do you think, Joe?
I mean, Dean, he's confirmed out for game week 30. So I mean, Shaw obviously doesn't have a fixture. Um, if without Dean, you still can play 8. I would hold it. I personally would hold that free transfer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Dean should be back in game week 31, but I would hold that free transfer because things might be much clearer in game week 31, especially with the confirmed game week 33 fixtures. So you wouldn't want to waste that free transfer on a player that most probably does not have a game week 33 double. But you're looking at Leicester Defense. Leicester Defense, personally, I would go far away from them. I mean, at the moment at least, maybe the only defender that is remotely even worth considering is probably Amati. I think it's because he's cheap. He's really cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether will he continue to be nailed? It's hard to say. Because I think Fofana came back, but I think yesterday he went off a little bit injured. Fofana. But Amati started as well yesterday, so I think at the moment he still seems nailed and he's cheap. So probably he is probably the only player that I would remotely consider bringing him in. It's only 3.9. Consider remotely bring him in, but he might lose his place anytime again. So you know, um, yeah,
Yeah, I
probably
think
probably
until the
his
Leicester defense, I would stay away as well. And yeah, I think with if you can play 8 by rolling, and that's pretty good.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Simon Clips, if that helps, feel free to roll, and it should be more power to you in game week 31. Joshua Tan, hey guys, what do you guys think of? Would you guys do Willick to Barnes with free transfer? I have 8 players now for 30. Not planning to free hit Ramsdale, White, Doc, Rafinha, Saka, Kulusevski, Kane, and Watkins. Um, I'm okay with rolling. I think if you're not planning to free hit, having 8 players for the blank game week 30, that's pretty good lineup. Who's Doc though? Doc
Doherty.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm okay with rolling. As much as the prospect of Barnes is pretty good, I think if you can roll and play 8, it should be fine.
I mean, yeah, if you can roll and play it, to me is also fine. But Willock to Barnes, not too bad of a shout. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, if I'm not mistaken, Newcastle is also having a game week 33 double, isn't it?
I think so. Have a look real quick. Yeah, Leicester and
Yeah, Leicester
Palace.
and Palace. So could be worth keeping. Could be worth keeping Willock
Yeah,
if 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 you want to go for him. But probably Barnes in the longer run, he should have more fixtures. So also not too
yeah,
bad of a shout. But I think like I mentioned, if it depends on your strategy. If you have free hits, you have your wild card. Yeah, I mean Barnes is fine. But if you do not have, and free transfer becomes so valuable to bring in more double gimmick players, maybe it's worth keeping because we will have much more information coming to game week 31 deadline.
yeah. I agree as well. We have quite a few things to get through, so we're gonna try and streamline through. One,
Yep.
thank God I saw Rafinha last game with Kulu. Yes, that must have paid off big time. Not Harvey Barnes again. Yes, I know. I think Zoe as well. We're fellow Barnes owners in game week 1 to 3. So yeah, I'm personally not too eager at the moment. Blue Knicks 99 punt on Yarmolenko. I don't
It's
know.
a little bit it's a little bit hard to recommend because I think Yarmolenko he's currently more of an impact player from the bench. I think he has
Yeah,
been coming on from the bench twice to
yeah.
clutch the win. I think against Sevilla yesterday he came on clutch. Uh, their Premier League game as well came on clutch. It was a beautiful moment where he came on and scored a winning goal.
Mhm.
But I still think he's a bench player, more of to be used as an impact player, as a sub instead of a starting player.
Yeah,
So personally, not for me, unfortunately.
and I would have to agree. I probably wouldn't go for him. Worth considering, but probably not anytime soon. Wanza me again. Would you consider Ericsson for Rafinha replacement?
Only if Rafinha is confirmed out. I think
Yeah,
Rafinha. I think Rafinha so far shows signs of
that he
not.
should be okay. I
Yeah, he
think.
should be okay. So I'll probably not punt for that Ericsson, unless unless you have a strong gut feeling on him.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess a very good follow up for that. Blue Nix mentions Ericsson seems like a great option. Leicester
Mm-hmm.
potentially very vulnerable at set pieces. Very good point.
Yep.
I mean, they're very
Yep.
vulnerable,
Agreed.
period, but they're very vulnerable
Agreed.
at set pieces as well. Very good
Yep.
point there, Blue Nix. Joseph Yo, we've been over this quite a bit. Can someone answer, is Rafinha out? Apparently, COVID. Obviously, we don't know for sure, but like we kind of covered earlier, Rafinha could be fine, and if that's the case, happy days for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
Swang says hi. Hello, Swangs. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Blue Nix mentioned Twitter seems to think Rafinha has traveled, awaiting stalking pictures of the bus. Yes, that is how FPL managers are built different.
Yep.
um, Hadi, Lacazette or Kulu as captain. I got Son, but Kulu seems to have more impact on the pitch. What do you think?
Uh, this is a tough one. I think in terms of FPL points, yes, Kulu is the one getting the points. But if you look at the game or games, I think Son is still really heavily involved in the attack. It's just shame that he didn't come up with the goods. Um, but Kulu is he's strong. He's really direct in terms of his attacking as well, and threatening. So I would say in terms of value, yes, Kulu do give better value than Sun um, so far. But I would say in terms of being nailed, I would say Sun is still, I don't know, just personal thinking here. I would still say Sun is more nailed than Kulu because there is still Lucas Moura lurking, and whether will Kulu be rested anytime soon? Not sure because you usually Sun is nicked off earlier, and Kulu stays on to 90 minutes. So will that mean Kulu might be rested soon or not? I don't know, but I think Sun, you know, should be nailed. Laka or Kulu as captain is a bit tricky. Between Laka or Kulu, I would probably, let's see, Arsenal playing against Villa, Spurs playing against West Ham. I think West Ham is a tired West Ham team. I think they played over 100 minutes um, until Yamalenko clutched the winning goal. So I would say, Laka or Kulu, I would probably go for Kulu captain in between those two. But if you have Sun, I would probably go for Sun captain instead.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Or Kane. Kane is probably the
Oh
safest.
yes, yes, Kane is the no-brainer captain of the week.
Yeah. One Xiaomi. Which one should I get rid of? Cancelo or Rudiger? Need money to buy Tony.
Uh, Personally, I wouldn't get rid of either of them. To be honest,
I would
you know,
hold
like
as well.
like Chelsea fixtures looks really good. Game week 21 onwards, and I said, and as I said before, City, um, they would want to put on the pressure and win every game. Uh, with especially with Liverpool breathing down their necks. So you needed that money to buy Tony. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. Unless like I said, unless it's a free hit team or unless you are going to walk out and give me 31, then yes, go ahead, sell either of them. But personally, if it's not, I probably wouldn't do that because, especially Cancelo, because you would probably want to bring him back soon after that.
Yeah, I agree too. I'd probably hold if I have both of them. I have Rudiger, probably gonna hold as well. And Kai, not free hitting, and currently have both Aitnori and Kilman in my game week 30 team.
Hmm.
Should I transfer one of them out for Doherty? And if so, who? Um, I think just hold. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure why would you want to sell them on the game week 30. I think both of them have a chance to start because you are selling a potential starting player for another starting player on a blank game week. You know,
Hmm.
I would prefer to sell other players that doesn't have a fixture this game week. But let's say if you really set on selling either Ait Nuri or Kilman, I will probably sell Ait Nuri. I think Kilman is still more nailed than Ait Nuri, if you ask me
Yeah,
personally. So yeah.
yeah. So maybe holding is worth Kai. But yeah, Kilman probably more nailed. Juan Zahelmi, last question. Who's the best the captain for this blank game week and why?
I mean, Kane, of course,
Yeah,
firstly,
I think arguably it's Kane.
I mean, Spurs. I mean, he Spurs are really attacking at the moment. They are really creating a lot of big chances, game in, game out, and bulk of the big chances falls on Kane. Um, I think Conte is really building his team around Kane. He really loves
He
Kane
mentioned
as a
that Kane is
player.
closer to the goal, I think.
Yeah,
Playing closer to the goal.
he really loves Kane as a player, and Kane really enjoys playing under Conte as well. And Kane has penalties, and his penalty conversion rate is extraordinary as well. And he's currently, I would say, on form. Um, and yeah, if you have Kane, Kane is the standout captain for a blank game week, which you do not want to punt for a differential captain on a blank game week. Especially if
Mhm.
you don't have 11 players. So if you don't have 11 players, um, the captain is probably the most important decision because if your captain hauls, it will soften the blow of not fielding 11 players. So I would go for Kane.
Yeah, I agree. I would go with Kane as well. Sheila, am I overthinking not going Kulu over Barnes as my Fraser replacement? Ah,
Mm. Mm. This one is a bit tricky. Am I not going Kulu? Meaning, I
I
think if
think I
not,
would still go Kulu.
yeah, I probably would still go Kulu because firstly, I think Spurs is a generally more attacking team in the moment, and uh, Kulu is cheaper. Kulu is cheaper than
Mm,
Barnes.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I I, I would still go for Kulu. He's playing really, really well at the
yeah,
moment.
I, yeah, Sheila. I think we're going for Kulu here. He's in form. Hopefully that helps. Glad we were able to help Kai. And last question for the night. Pau Brucer, Salah to Barnes, Adams to Kane, and get Salah back for 31. What do you think? I mean, if you have a way of getting Salah back easily, by all means, and then it's
Yeah,
to bring in Kane, so that makes sense.
yep, looks good.
Yeah,
Salah to Barnes and
looks
Adams to
good. As
Kane.
long as you have a way.
Yeah, I mean, you're selling two
Yeah.
blank players for two players which with pretty good upside, and the most obvious captain of the game week. And then if you have a way to bring Salah back on game week 31, why not?
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good moves overall. That was the final question for the night. So yeah, I need to lower my voice a bit. My housemate has asked me to keep it down. It is close to 3 a.m. here, so that's understandable. But yeah, it is nevertheless that has been our blank game week 30 deadline stream. And it's been great to be able to have Joe here to talk about different topics and all that. The deadline is still in a couple hours, but do have your teams ready, whether that's on a free hit or whatever. We hope we were able to help and cover most of the topics. Thank you all for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as always, it's great to have you. Any last words for the viewers?
Um, good luck, everyone, and may our captains haul because we will really need them, especially us, who's going to field less than 11 players. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to lower my expectations on Game Week 30, and just focus on Game Week 31 and beyond, because I think only four fixtures. There's not much wiggle room, and there's not much upside you can chase. I mean, that's my opinion. So just want to get it over with as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you very much for your insight and your wisdom as well. We hope your team does well as well. Make sure you follow So here on Twitter. It's Joe FPL at So FPL. You can follow me as well at FPL Nitro. And of course, follow FPL Expectations on Twitter. It's FPL Expectations. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a like as well. Feel free to leave a comment what we can do as well. Yeah, as always, it's great to have you, Joe, and we'll hope to see you around in the future shows as well. That's been it from us here at the FPL Expectations team. It's great to be able to talk about Blank Game Week 30 coming up, and of course, FPL in general. May all of your arrows be green, and we wish you the best of luck. Good night. Yeah, good night, everybody.